The city by the bay is grappling with a state of emergency as a relentless Category 5 atmospheric river has turned iconic streets into rushing rivers, paralyzed public transit, and caused hundreds of millions of dollars in property damage. After 48 hours of non-stop torrential rain, San Francisco is facing its most significant flooding event in decades. According to the National Weather Service San Francisco, the city received nearly 6.5 inches of rain in a single 24-hour period, shattering records set back in the 19th century. This Pineapple Express system, a plume of moisture stretching from the Hawaiian Islands, slammed into the California coast with surgical precision. The ground was already saturated from December storms, said a lead hydrologist. Every drop of rain that fell today had nowhere to go but into the streets and basements. Our aging drainage systems were simply not built for this volume of water. Major stations, including Montgomery Street and Powell Street, were forced to close as water cascaded down the stairs and into the trackways. The San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency suspended all light rail services, replacing them with limited bus bridges that struggled to navigate flooded intersections. Low-lying areas such as the Marina District, Soma, and the Embarcadero saw water levels reach 3 to 4 feet deep. The Highway 101 off-ramps into the city were submerged, effectively cutting off the main southern entrance to the city for several hours. The financial toll is mounting rapidly. For San Francisco's famous dining and retail sectors, the storm has been a knockout blow. These neighborhoods, which sit at lower elevations, bore the brunt of the damage. Hundreds of ground-floor businesses reported catastrophic flooding. "I watched 20 years of work float away in 2 hours," said a local gallery owner on Howard Street. Preliminary insurance assessments suggest that private property damage could exceed $450 million. Many property owners are finding that standard policies do not cover surface water flooding, leading to a potential crisis in the local real estate market. San Francisco operates a combined sewer system where stormwater and sewage are treated in the same pipes. The extreme volume caused numerous combined sewer overflows. The SF Public Utilities Commission has issued urgent health advisories. Residents are warned to avoid contact with standing water due to high levels of bacteria and urban runoff. In the Richmond district, a massive sinkhole swallowed 2 parked cars after a century-old water main buckled under the pressure of the surrounding saturated soil, highlighting the city's aging infrastructure vulnerabilities. The most vulnerable citizens, the city's unhoused population, faced life-threatening conditions. Emergency shelters at the Moscone Center were open to provide dry beds for over 2,000 individuals displaced from encampments. City officials are pointing to this event as a stark reminder of climate change. "We are seeing the intensification of the hydrological cycle," said the mayor during a press conference at City Hall. "We must accelerate our resilient SF initiatives, including more permeable pavements and larger stormwater capture basins." As the rain transitions to light showers tonight, the long cleanup begins. The governor of California has requested a federal disaster declaration, which would unlock FEMA funds for local residents and infrastructure repair. For now, the city remains on high alert. With another storm system brewing in the Pacific and expected to arrive by Friday, the window for repair is dangerously short. Meanwhile, a catastrophic combination of record-breaking rainfall and rapid snowmelt has triggered some of the most severe flooding in Oregon's history. From the streets of Portland to the coastal towns of Tillamook, the state is grappling with a logistical and humanitarian crisis as rivers overtop their banks, forcing thousands to evacuate and causing hundreds of millions of dollars in damages. A massive plume of moisture, classified as a Category 4 atmospheric river, has stalled over the Pacific Northwest for 4 consecutive days. Prior to this storm, the Oregon Cascades held a significant snowpack. Warm tropical rains have rapidly melted the snow, doubling the volume of runoff entering the river systems. Following an unusually wet December, Oregon's soil was already at 100% saturation capacity, meaning every inch of new rain immediately became surface runoff. In some parts of the Coast Range, rainfall totals have surpassed 12 inches in 72 hours, an amount typically seen over an entire month. The Tillamook and Nehalem Rivers have turned coastal highways into impassable waterways. In Tillamook, famous for its dairy industry, several barns were inundated, leading to emergency animal rescues coordinated by the Oregon Department of Agriculture. Portions of the state's primary north-south artery were shut down near Albany due to water flowing over the lanes, causing massive supply chain delays for the entire West Coast. The saturated hillsides of the Columbia River Gorge have given way, resulting in several massive debris flows. One landslide near Corbett destroyed 2 homes and blocked the historic Columbia River Highway. Shipping operations have been severely restricted as the Columbia River's high velocity and debris load make navigation hazardous for large cargo vessels. Over 2,500 homes have reported flood damage. Many residents in the Portland metro area are discovering that their standard homeowner's insurance does not cover overland flooding, leading to a projected surge in federal aid requests. In downtown Eugene and Corvallis, basement flooding has destroyed inventory for dozens of local retailers. The cost of mold remediation and structural repair is expected to keep many businesses closed for months. Many municipal wastewater treatment plants have been overwhelmed, leading to raw sewage bypasses into the Willamette and Columbia rivers. Residents are urged to avoid all recreational contact with river water. Thousands of private wells in rural Oregon are likely contaminated by floodwaters. The state is distributing free water testing kits at various Oregon emergency management sites. The Oregon National Guard has been deployed to assist local first responders. Using high-water vehicles and helicopters, teams have rescued over 400 people stranded on rooftops or installed vehicles. The American Red Cross has opened 12 shelters across the Willamette Valley, providing food, dry clothes, and medical care to displaced families. Governor Kotek has officially requested a major disaster declaration from the White House to unlock FEMA resources. Oregonians are resilient, but the scale of this flooding is beyond the capacity of local budgets, the governor stated during an aerial tour of the damage. While the rain is expected to taper off by Wednesday, the floodwaters will take weeks to recede. The threat of further landslides remains high as the ground remains unstable. Meanwhile, the scenic coastal enclave of Santa Barbara has been transformed into a zone of destruction as an extreme atmospheric river event triggered catastrophic flash flooding and debris flows across the region. With rainfall rates exceeding 2 inches per hour in the foothills, the city's infrastructure has been overwhelmed, forcing mandatory evacuations and causing widespread devastation to both historic landmarks and residential neighborhoods. The National Weather Service Los Angeles/Oxnard office described the storm as a meteorological fire hose. A massive plume of subtropical moisture stalled directly over the Santa Ynez Mountains, creating an orographic lift effect that squeezed out unprecedented amounts of precipitation. In just 24 hours, Santa Barbara recorded 8.7 inches of rain, nearly half of its annual average. This wasn't just a storm. It was a localized deluge that the landscape simply could not absorb, said a senior climatologist. The saturation levels led to an immediate transition from rainfall to dangerous surface runoff. The primary coastal highway was shut down in both directions between Santa Barbara and Ventura after several feet of water and mud covered the lanes near Seacliff. The California Department of Transportation estimated that it could take days to clear the debris. The airfield was forced to close all operations as the surrounding slough flooded the runways. All flights have been canceled, leaving hundreds of travelers stranded. Southern California Edison reported over 12,000 customers without power due to downed lines and flooded electrical vaults. Meanwhile, the city's water system is under a boil water notice in certain sectors after a main line was ruptured by a landslide. Iconic hotels along Cabrillo Boulevard reported significant flooding in ground floor lobbies. Preliminary estimates from the Santa Barbara Chamber of Commerce suggest losses in the tens of millions of dollars in canceled bookings and physical damage. In the nearby Santa Maria and Lompoc valleys, strawberry and vegetable fields are submerged. The Santa Barbara County Agricultural Commissioner warns that the saturated soil may lead to root rot, impacting crop yields for the entire 2026 season. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office and city fire crews have performed more than 40 high water rescues since Sunday evening. The Wake Center and local high schools have been converted into emergency shelters, housing hundreds of residents who fled their homes in the middle of the night. Emergency teams worked frantically to evacuate encampments along the Santa Ynez River and local creeks. Tragically, at least 2 individuals remain missing after their makeshift shelters were swept away by rising waters. Massive amounts of urban runoff, including untreated sewage and automotive fluids, have flowed into the Santa Barbara Channel. The Public Health Department has closed all city beaches, warning that the water is biologically hazardous for at least the next 72 hours. The influx of freshwater and sediment is expected to impact the local kelp forests and marine sanctuaries, which are vital to the area's biodiversity. Meanwhile, the mountain community of Wrightwood is currently facing a dual-threat emergency as a powerful atmospheric river has unleashed torrential rains on the eastern San Gabriel Mountains. The deluge has triggered catastrophic flash flooding and massive debris flows, slurries of mud and rocks that have cut off the town from the rest of Southern California, leaving hundreds of residents trapped and causing significant structural damage. Preliminary reports suggest that at least 20 homes have sustained major structural damage, with several being partially buried under mud. "It sounded like a freight train coming through my backyard," said one resident who fled to higher ground. The heart of Wrightwood, including several local businesses and historic buildings, has seen water levels reach 3 feet in some areas, destroying inventory and causing long-term water damage. The San Bernardino County Fire Department and the Sheriff's Department have initiated a massive rescue operation. Teams have performed 12 technical rescues involving people stranded in their vehicles. Due to the road closures, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Aviation Division has deployed helicopters to evacuate residents with urgent medical needs. This facility has been converted into a temporary emergency shelter, though supplies are limited as the roads remain blocked.